So if we wanted to, right now, we can go to render view, click render, and it's going to use the mantra node that we had set up, which uses the camera that we have. And as I just started to say, we don't have any lights, but we'll get something. So we can see it's blurring, so that's good. So that's all working. It's all basically correct. Doesn't look very interesting, but it is correct. We'll stop that for a minute. Let's go to the lights and cameras shelf up here. Just click skylight, and it will create that for us, where we have a sun beaming down on it, and then we have a general environment light that looks like sky and earth. So right off the bat, on the skylight itself, which is the big round environment light, turn on clip to positive Y hemisphere. That's because we don't need anything lower than that. Okay. So that's something that'll already make a difference. I'm gonna take a snapshot here so you can see how we improve as we go along. So already we have more of a like CG, or more of a photoreal-esque look, certainly from that to that. Obviously our liquid is still solid, but now we have nice light and it takes longer to render, which is always fun. So that's fine. So we'll pause that too, and I'll snapshot it. Obviously what we're missing, and that is the materials. So public enemy number one, or at least the most interesting thing here, is that we need a liquid. So just go down to liquids, choose basic liquid. Obviously this is an intro class, so we're not going to go into every single thing, but basic liquid comes in with a very little diffuse amount, meaning just like the hard surface color. It has a default bluish thing that will keep. It has reflectivity, because liquids will reflect. Refract means light passes through it. You can see it's at 1, so it's allowing most everything to pass through it. So that's cool. Let's just apply that to our exterior here. And in fact, I'm going to turn this off by just renaming it something. Now here you'll see it doesn't see it because it doesn't start with R and DR. I just don't want it to render at this moment. So the exterior, add the basic liquid to it. So now let's see what that looks like. And wow, look at that. Looks like we have something. Wow, it's clear. You can see through it. So that's cool. Obviously it takes way longer to render now. If you like, you might want to go into your output node here and say override camera resolution to half. Obviously it will resolve much faster because there is a quarter of the amount of pixels it needs to do. I would recommend that. I am going to do that. I'm just gonna zoom in basically, so it's still taking up my screen, but it's not rendering nearly as much. So we can get rid of these probably. Okay. So there it is. So that's looking nice. It looks like something anyway. So we'll pause it again, and that would be something that looks like a slightly bluish liquid. What might be nice for us is to let's change the background color. Let's make a principled shader here and put this on our background wall. So I'll go here, the render background, principled shader, go back here. So let's see, let's give it a, well, first of all, it should not be reflective. I don't know why the default is to make it reflective like a mirror. So turn that off. Base color. Let's see. We can start from here. Let's start from here. And then kind of come beat in the middle. Because it's kind of like palish, orange looking thing. Let's see what that looks like. We could actually just change the color, in here and see it update in real time. All right. So we're getting somewhere now. Yeah, this does look more or less like water. Again, a slightly bluish water. But I want to really push this. A lot of liquids, and it won't look like water in a second. I don't want you to think that I think what we're about to do looks like water. A lot of liquids have what we will call participating media inside of it, meaning particles or some kind of foggy nature to it. If it was a river, it might have just dirt swirled up in it. If it was lemonade, it would have little lemon particles or country time powder. That can be accomplished through something I started to talk about called uniform volume. Uniform volume means take a polygon surface and render it as if it was the boundaries of a volume. So now let's bring this back into the fold. So this interior, which is again the same thing, this is rendering the exterior of it, this is rendering the interior of it, and that uniform volume will have a color, will have a density, the same way that you would define the density of a volume. So you can see already it's a little bit lighter, it's a little bit cloudier. In fact, I'm going to turn it off again. I should have snapshotted it before. Oh well. So here it is without it on, and I'm going to click and hold here so you can kind of see and kind of get an idea of what it looks like without it on. Nice and clear. Snapshot that. Now we turn this on. Maybe we'll turn it on to 0.5. You can see already it's a little bit different. It's got a little bit cloudier nature to it. You can probably see it even easier if there's something to see through it. Cool. Click this. Now you can really start to see something. Now the interior is this turquoise. It's almost as if it's like a pool. I mean, pools are pretty clear too in terms of like chlorinated water. But again, we basically have, maybe this is like some drink. I certainly don't want this to be pig vomit. So I want to get away from that. This can be some kind of turquoise juice. Fill in the blanks. It can be whatever you want. So there you go. So we improved on that a little bit. So now it just has kind of like a nice lush look to it. And that's just arbitrary. Take a snapshot of that. You can see that's definitely a very different feel. So that's a common trick, is again to define the interior and the exterior. We even can take the scattering phase, something we talk about in the volumes lessons. If we make it like a small negative number, we can it'll change the look even more. You can see it's a little bit brighter. Now it's reflecting that color back at us instead of, so from here to here to here now. Again, won't get into the details of that, but more or less just says act as if, as opposed to water vapor in a cloud where light is passing through the water droplets, this is more like solid particulate where the light is reflecting back at us. So it just pops a little bit more. So that's nice. Take a picture of that too.